First thing that we are going to do is we're going to put a transition in from this first text that we see to this video clip, the beginning of the video clip that we use. All right, so from here, you guys are gonna go ahead and slide. So click and hold with your mouse and drag it straight down. It should be flush against it. We're gonna slide that down there. If you guys wanna know what scene you're looking at visually and see a better thumbnail as you're editing it, you can hold your mouse in between these two eyeballs right there where there's a tiny little thin gray line, and then you can click and hold and drag up, and then you can actually see your picture there. Perfect. And you can do the same thing with your audio tracks too, just like that, nice and easy. So from here, we go straight from this to that. Let's make it a lot smoother. Here's how we're gonna do that, okay? So we're gonna add that dip to black transition, all right? So how we're gonna find that, we're gonna go over to the top right of our screen. We're gonna see that effects category right here. Click on effects. When you guys are clicking on effects, after that, we're gonna go to video transitions, okay? Video transitions is a folder. There's a ton of different transitions in here, but we're only gonna focus on the dissolve folder right here. So video transitions, if you just click the dissolve folder, then we'll see additive dissolve, cross dissolve, dip to black, all these different ones, okay? What we are gonna be doing, guys, to put this transition between our first title and then our beginning of the movie clip is that we're gonna add a dip to black, all right? So take your mouse over here, click and hold, and then drag it down, nice and easy. In between this clip in the end and that clip in the beginning. So once you have it there, you'll see a little shape kind of pop up as you're doing this. You guys can definitely just drop it right there, nice and easy. And then after we have that, we are going to zoom in a little bit more. So pay attention to what I do on the keyboard here on the left-hand side. You guys will notice that on the top right of your keyboard, actually, I'm going to press this. It's like a plus key. It's a plus and a minus key, but underneath it is an equal sign and a dash sign as well. So just pressing plus takes me in further and further and further. There we go. If I keep pressing plus, which registers as the equal sign, as you guys can see right here, or if I keep pressing the minus sign, that takes me back. I'm zooming out to see my entire timeline, and I'm zooming in with the plus key to see the exact frame of video that I'm trying to break down. Now, this right here is not flush, so bring it closer together just like that. Boom. We have dragged and brought those clips perfectly together. We're going to go ahead and take that dip to black out. We'll put that dip to black back in. So when you use that dip to black, we'll put it right here at the beginning of our movie clip. At the end of our text scene, it goes ahead and it does that automatically for us. Now we hear that music like as soon as we start to leave and fade into this next scene, okay? So from here, in order to combat that, what you guys are going to do is that you're going to click this little drop-down menu to where you see video transitions. Just bring that back up, and let's go to where it says audio transitions right above it. Then we see crossfade, click on that, and then through there you guys are going to do constant gain, okay? Just click and hold and drag that constant gain all the way down right there. Perfect, awesome. Now, what we can do is that you guys can line up the out points or when this transition is done. There we go. So we can either bring that dip to black back to where it's lined up with the constant gain, or we can stretch both of them out to where it's more like this. So I can hover my mouse right there, wait until it changes to that little red marker, change it there. I can click on that, and then I can stretch this out a little bit more. There we go, just like that. So now let's give it a shot. So one way that you guys can quickly play video on your timeline or on Premiere Pro in general is literally just press the space bar. If you press the space bar, you will pause and play your video. That's true with a lot of different video players on like YouTube, you name it. So here's the space bar. Here we go. There we go. All right, so we've now added a pretty good dip to black transition right there. There we go. Nice, not too shabby. All right, so I'm going to zoom out of my timeline a little bit here. So let's press that minus key. There we go. Got a dash, dash, there we go. Nice. All right, so from there, you guys can see that we have the rest of our clip to edit out, okay? All right, next up, we're going to look at the subtitles that, not the subtitles that we can put in, we're gonna look at the cuts that we can put in, okay? All right, so next thing we're gonna do is cut these different classes, or not these different classes, these different clips up together, okay? So cut these different clips. We're gonna follow this video, and then we're gonna find out when this camera angle decides to change from one to the next, okay? Wakanda forever! Right there. So, as soon as we're done seeing that wide shot start to push in towards a medium close-up shot, I can use my left and my right arrow keys on my keyboard. So you see me using my left here, left, 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 right, 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 right. If I use left, I go a frame behind me. So I go a frame backwards in time. If I go to my right, I go to a frame forward in time. Just like that. There we go. So going frame by frame, I see this shot right here when I go from this shot to that shot. So we're looking straight on at Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa, and then we go to the side of his face right there as he begins to rush the front lines. So going from this shot to that one, that is a cut right there. So how you guys are actually going to manage doing this cut is that you're going to use the razor tool, which is right here on your toolbar. This razor tool is going to help cut as you guys cut with the editor that already created this scene, okay? So using your left and your right arrow keys, you guys are going to find exactly when they cut at that right frame, okay? So from here to here, the very first frame right there is when they make that cut. That's the first frame of the next video. So in order to make that cut, you guys can zoom all the way in on your timeline using that equal or that plus key that we see. And we can keep zooming in. They're right there. Perfect. So we can go back and forth. Watch the playhead here. Ready? Back. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. There we go. This clip right here, this is where you guys are going to cut it. All right, so make sure you go to your razor tool, just like that. If you click and hold on your razor tool, you guys can then take your mouse, move it to where your playhead is. Then where your playhead is, guys, it'll automatically detect with that white line like, hey, it looks like you want to cut right here. Let's go ahead and cut. All right, cool, yeah, I like that. So then you want to click with your mouse, boom. You have now successfully split both of those clips. So if I click and hold with my mouse where this blue playhead is, you see that as we reach the end of that clip, we cut to the next one, right there. So that's the first cut in this movie scene, all right? Now, let's go to the second one. You guys can hold down on the right arrow key to go a little bit faster, if you will, or in slow motion through these clips. Or you can go a little bit faster. It's up to you. I held down on the right arrow key to get it quicker. So, as they start to rush the battlefield, let's go back to where we were. The very next shot, the next cut that we see, going from this cut right here, that straight line that we see right there. The next cut after this is right here. Perfect. All right, down to the right exact frame. So this is where we're going to be cutting, all right? From here to there. From here to there. As soon as we lose sight of these people right there and we go to this next clip, that is the next video clip that we're going to cut, okay? Now, before we do that, what you guys can do is that there's a little bit of a scroll wheel right here. Grab onto the scroll wheel in between these two little gray dots. So click and hold, and you can scroll up a little bit, and you can see that we have that text layer there. If we have this text layer, and I use my razor tool, it should cut the text layer as well. Nope, it only cuts the video one there. Okay, cool. That's fine. So from there, we make another cut right here. I'll click and hold and drag this down. Perfect. All right. Start to rush, and that right there is the second cut. You guys are going to do the same thing. If you hold down with your right arrow key, we'll go to the next shot. Right there. Perfect. Going from here to there. That is what we need. Boom. Click that. We are now cutting some more. You will cut every single time that they do it in this movie clip. Okay? All right. Now, let's go back here. Let's zoom out a little bit on our timeline. We're going to press on that minus key a little bit. We can get the big picture of where we are. Still got a lot of work left to do with a lot of different cuts. Over 100 plus cuts in this scene alone, all right? You guys are responsible for cutting all of them, but it's following along with what has already been done for you. All right, so we have our first text layer right there. One thing that we need to do with this first text layer, I'm going to zoom in on my timeline. From here, let's actually make sure that we put a fade in for video transition. So let's do a additive dissolve right here. So click and hold on that additive dissolve and then drag it over to the first part of your video clip, which is your title sequence right there. Boom, click it right there. Now, as you drag it through, this is going to fade in. There we go. Nice and smooth, super easy, just like that, guys. All right. As we drag through, you guys can hold down on this playhead, click and hold with this playhead, and just go through the video if you wish. It's faster like that. Next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to take our text layer that we put on top up here, and we're going to go ahead and put it at the very, very end. All right? So if we put this at the very, very end, we have to make sure that we're using the right tool. Do not click on it just yet because you guys are using the razor tool. Come back over here to the selection tool right here. Click on that pointer. Now we can do as we please with this clip. We can drag it around. If you guys kept clicking it and trying to drag it with the razor tool, it wouldn't work. It only cuts things. So let's zoom out of our timeline a little bit. There we go. I'm going to drag this text layer a little further down. You guys can drag it all the way down. You can click and hold this and it's going to go all the way down your timeline. So we eventually get to the very end. All right. Now, it can stay on V2, but we'll keep that for subtitles. Let's bring this one down right next to the end of our video clip, right there with Thanos. There we go. And this is our new text layer, okay? This new text layer we are going to format like this. Runtime, blank seconds, cuts, blank shots, average shot length. That is how we are going to format our last title card at the very end of our movie, okay? So from here, let's go back to Premiere Pro. We're using Schoology as a reference. We can click on this layer right here, and then we can click and drag it around. If you guys cannot drag it around, make sure that you are clicking on Program right here in your program monitor. That way it's keeping track of where you guys are with your playhead and not the little video source or whatever you're doing. But right here, we're going to click New Text Layer. We're going to click and highlight it, so double click it, double or triple click it, and then from there we can start spelling out what we're supposed to say, okay? Should be going back to Schoology, runtime, blank seconds, cuts, blank shots. So let's go here, let's type in runtime, blank seconds. And then from here, if you guys go to the end of seconds, you guys can press enter on your keyboard and then press enter one more time. Let's do cuts. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is just for you guys. Don't space this out. You have to change these numbers later. And then after this, you'll put blank shots. And then through there, you'll press enter one more time and enter another time. And then we'll do average, enter, shot. Now we're starting to get it cut off right here. If you can't see it, if you guys want to bring this up a little bit, how we're going to do that is the same way that we did it before at the very beginning, how you're going to center it up. So make sure that we're clicked and highlighted on our text. You go over to where it says Essential Graphics on the right-hand side. Click on that there. We are on the runtime one, that's correct. And now we're going to align horizontally, and now we're going to align vertically, just like that. There we go, much better. As you guys change the size of this box, it's going to automatically change when you guys click on those pre-saved settings, okay? So for here, average shot length, press enter one more time. Let's do length. There we go. And then blank. And then we'll do seconds per shot, just like that. So the format's kind of changed a little bit more. Let's go ahead and recenter. Let's center up right here horizontally, just like that. Now let's center vertically. Perfect. All right, so from there, next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and do the rest of this project, and we're going to go ahead and add some subtitles, okay? Well, not just yet. Not the subtitles, because we're supposed to add some transitions next too, okay? So we're going to dip to black from here. So let's go back into effect where we have right there. From there, we'll do dip to black. Let's go ahead and drag and drop it right here. There we go. And now that we have the dip to black for our video source, there we go. Let's also do a different transition so that the audio cuts out at the same time with the video. So let's go to, click that little drop down again, hide it. Let's go to audio transitions. Let's go down to crossfade again. Let's do exponential fade. Click and drag exponential fade down to our A1 in the blue box right there, okay? Now let's zoom in a little bit on our timeline. We can see that it's not exactly timed up just right. Let's bring it right there. That way, it starts going away as soon as we need it to. There we go. And it fades in right there. So, after that, those are the transitions that we need, guys. That's all the transitions that we have for this assignment. What comes after this is adding the subtitles and doing the math, getting all the numbers of cuts that we have, all the numbers of seconds that we have, and doing that correctly. Let's go into how we're going to do subtitles.